I'm Sevil Mikhailova.
And I'm Claude Salhani, and this is This Week in Focus. This week we will focus on a recent spat that erupted between Azerbaijan and the European Parliament. With us to discuss this issue is Asil Mollazadeh. He's the chairman of the Azerbaijani Democratic Reforms Party and a member of the Azerbaijani Parliament. Mr. Mollazadeh, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for your interest.
There seems to be some miscontent between Azerbaijan and the European Parliament over a recent decree by the European Parliament. Can you
I think
us?
that what's happened in European Parliament, the resolution in European Parliament against Azerbaijan, we consider as a part of information war, ideological war, which has been started against Azerbaijan. Behind this war is a very rich, well-organized Armenian lobbying group which are working in the United States, in Latin America. They are very strong in Europe, and goal of this organization just to show image of Azerbaijan as a dictatorship, barbarian Muslim country, and in this condition, poor Armenian who lived in Karabakh never can be a part of Azerbaijan. And it's clear for us that these lobbying groups, they are working in a different dimension, but first of all, they focus on attention to the situation of human rights and democracy, because this issue is very, very sensitive in the Western world, in the European political framework, and it's also, I think that behind the group who are in European Parliament against Azerbaijan are the group which are rivaling energy groups which are really concerned of a huge strategic energy project which Azerbaijan creating together with Georgia and Turkey.
Do you believe that these attacks, this is the major objectives of all these attacks?
I think that also there is other group within European Parliament which don't like system which existing in Azerbaijan. I'm speaking about multiculturalism. Well-known information in Azerbaijan and in Europe that during the last years, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia is growing in Europe. Specific groups in European Parliament, I mean radical extreme groups, became a part of European Parliament. An image of Azerbaijan, Azerbaijan as a country with Muslim population which really has a new system of cooperation between different religious groups, different ethnic groups, and in this situation, image of Azerbaijan is a serious obstacle for them when they are talking about Islamic barbarism, when they're talking, accusing Jews and many other. It's something like a mentality of year of crusades. And growing of this type of things in Europe are very dangerous. There is also small group, also left extreme. Just recently, Minister of National Security of Czech Republic said that Comintern is growing in Europe. It's well-organized groups which, heritage of former communist and workers' party in this region. And for them, of course, Azerbaijan became a target because Azerbaijan is a country of new, dynamic, different type of economy which they don't like. All of them united. And I think that what's happened in European Parliament also against European values, against interests of EU country. Chairman of Foreign Affairs Committee of European Parliament, Elmar Brok, he spoke about that in European Parliament. He said that it's violating our interests. This document is not for the interest of European Union, because European Union is a partner of Azerbaijan for many directions. We're working together on economic issue, and European countries are the major partners of Azerbaijan in the economic field, energy, and again culture. because the issue of culture and clash of this type of culture, I mean Islamophobia, anti-Semitism against multiculturalism, because some European politicians said that multiculturalism is over. And I think that the groups and all these lobbies who started a war against Azerbaijan, they achieved the goal. What we had in Azerbaijan, of course, negative reaction. They had a goal to stop and break relationship between Azerbaijan and Europe, between Azerbaijan and United States, major strategic partners of Azerbaijan, and they had a goal to push Azerbaijan, isolate Azerbaijan, and to push Azerbaijan to the hands of former empire.
You don't think that by the reaction that Azerbaijan is taking, don't you think that by reacting the way you are reacting, it's
yes, but
playing into their game?
At the same time, reaction of Azerbaijani parliament is a message and signal for our European friends and colleagues. It means that, please, dear friends, think about your interests. Think about your strategic interests. Think about diversification of your energy, new market for you, because Azerbaijan is the most successful country of former Soviet Union, and Azerbaijan could prevent any type of clashes, any type of destabilization. And Azerbaijan at the same time has a very important strategy for European Union, for European country. I mean a strategy of Great Silk Road restoration.
The European Parliament in itself has no real power.
After the European Parliament, yes, but at the same time, this resolution had some recommendation to the European Council, to European authorities, behave rudely against Azerbaijan, aggressively against Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan cannot accept this type of thing. That's why Azerbaijan is not breaking our links, our cooperation with the countries of European Union. But there is a very successful way to continue its establishing strong and bilateral relationship. There are a lot of European countries which are the partner, reliable partner of Azerbaijan, and we will work in this dimension. Resolution of Azerbaijani parliament is against this negative document of European Parliament, and against European Parliament, not against Europe, not against European countries.
So do you believe that these documents, the document that the European Parliament has adopted, and several other statements made before by the European leaders, in fact target destabilizing the situation in Azerbaijan?
I don't think that Azerbaijan now is a country which is vulnerable, and any statement of a foreign power can destabilize situation in Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan has more independence than expecting from different part of the world. Independence is a great value for us. And many times we talk to our partners in Europe, in the United States, even in Turkey. Azerbaijan said goodbye to our big brothers, and we will never accept any new big brother who will come and with this strong voice command us. The most important thing and very sensitive thing for all Azerbaijani is our independence.
Mr. Molazade, you are a member of the parliament which criticized the resolution of the European Parliament, which was passed several days ago. So what can you tell us about it?
First of all, a resolution passed in Azerbaijani parliament was passed unanimously. Because there...
So you have a resolution?
We have our own resolution, which is a reaction to unfair and a resolution of European Parliament. Maybe it's emotional, but we again trying to send a message to our European partners. We don't need big brothers. We need partners.
Or teachers.
We need friends. We need partners who are cooperating on different fields. But Azerbaijan is not member of EU. Azerbaijan, member of many European organizations where we have our own obligation and our cooperation in this organization. We can, raise our voice during any discussions with our party. European Parliament, we never heard from them any criticism against Armenia, against Iran, where they jumped, even, or Cuba, where they're visiting. Why they forgot about human rights and democracy? It means that now issue of democracy and human rights became a political tool for creating oppression. But now it's more root, and Azerbaijan became a target. Because very rich Armenian diaspora, they raised a lot of funds for something like 100 years of so-called genocide issue. They did not use this money for recognition of genocide. They're using this money against Azerbaijan. They now continuing battle on information fields, on field of ideology, so-called. And I think that as a result of that, we had a resolution of European Parliament, many articles against Azerbaijan in different Western media, and I think that Azerbaijan should work better. Azerbaijan also should respond not only in form of resolution of Parliament of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan should establish more strong links with Western, European and American NGOs, media. I'm trying to do that. There were about 8 articles and interviews from me to different American and European magazines and newspapers, but I think we have to do it more strong. Azerbaijan should also create its own information system and informed our friends and first of all society. We started this type of activity. For example, in the United States, we're enlarging our relationship. We moved from Hill and Washington to very close to American people. We are active in many American states. We have now a friendship group in different senates and houses of the United States. About 25 parliaments in different American states had a resolution supporting Azerbaijan. There are a resolution which condemning Khojaly genocide, and I think that this activity, Justice for Khojaly, which Azerbaijan is providing in European Union, in the United States, in Latin American countries, is a better answer to Armenian information war, because this type of massacres, when Armenian military forces kill children, women, elderly people in Khojaly brutally, and policy of ethnic cleansing is against European values. It's against human values, and Azerbaijan just should deliver this information to the world.
And returning back to the peace resolution again, so you just mentioned that Azerbaijan is not a member of the European Union. And to what extent is the European Parliament authorized to criticize Azerbaijan?
I think that behind, as I told, this type of criticism, there is a very strong and active lobbying group. They targeting Azerbaijan. It's a attacking Azerbaijan. But at the same time, we raised this issue many times. There is a platform of cooperation between Azerbaijan and EU. There is a next parliamentary assembly. I'm deputy chairman of political committee of this assembly. Many times we try to raise this type of issue. If there is any misunderstanding, if there is any questions, there is a platform. Let's discuss it together. The European Parliament and also parliamentarian delegation from 6 former Soviet countries, they are in joint assembly. Let's do it there. Let's discuss this issue. But never we had this type of discussions. Never we had from European Parliament attention to the settlement of the conflict on territory.
Was that the major reason for the Azerbaijani Parliament to make a decision to cease the relationships with the Euronest?
Because we could not achieve anything which is interesting for the national interest of Azerbaijan. because the major direction of Euronest Parliamentary Assembly were declared during the summit of Eastern Partnership countries. Security and conflict resolutions, energy, humanitarian fields like cooperation or field of education, culture, and so common social policy. But there is no any serious result in all directions. Even worse, situation with security and conflicts became very difficult. First conflict in this Eastern Partners area was the Karabakh conflict. Nothing about that. Georgia, 20% of Azerbaijan under occupation, 20% of Georgia under occupation, 20% now Ukraine under occupation, 20% of Moldova occupation. We were punished for our will to be closer to Europe, to be closer to West. And what? Nothing. That's why we think that if there are some sanctions against Russia regarding Ukraine and Azerbaijan, of course, in all international organizations supporting territorial integrity of Ukraine, as Azerbaijan did it in United Nations, Armenia voted against this bill. But no discussions. No serious influence. This is the rudest violation of human rights. Human rights of hundreds, thousands of people who became refugees or displaced persons.
So you recognize that the EP's resolution was politicized?
EP resolution was a part of information and ideological war against Azerbaijan coming from Armenian lobby.
What can you tell us about the future of the parliamentary cooperation between EP and Azerbaijan?
We're waiting for the reaction from our European colleagues. We think that they should understand, as an independent Azerbaijan, will never accept this type of tone, this type of voice, voice of older brother, big brother, because we are not a part of any empire.
Did Azerbaijan has this kind of problem with the European Parliament before?
Sometimes, but generally, we think that one of the biggest European value, which we always accepting and we like to work in this system, is a partnership. It's a partnership. It's just equal rights for all, even small countries, to cooperate with Europe. And when its situation is changing, again, Azerbaijan never will accept new empire.
My question is Armenia, according to your Ministry of Defense, is daily violating the ceasefire 100 times, 120 times, 130 times, astounding numbers. In other words, they're shooting at Azerbaijani troops every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes.
Not only troops, because victims of this type of shelling from Armenian side are civil people. Children, women, people who live in villages, who are working on a field and becoming a target of Armenian snipers.
In very superficial way, because we don't have enough time to discuss the whole thing, or we'd be here for 3 more weeks. How do you see this ending? Do you see a resolution down the road to this conflict?
It's possible, first of all, when all international organizations will move in a direction of their own basic documents. There are a basic document of United Nations. There are a basic document of OSCE about territorial integrity. And in some cases, they're reacting like that. For example, events in Ukraine. But what's happened about Karabakh? Why territory of Georgia became forgotten conflicts, or territory of Moldova?
Because nobody wants to take on Russia.
Nobody wants to talk about it. We are not asking our European colleagues to send a troop and solve this conflict, or from our American friends. We never ask American troops to come to region. We're asking about the political support and support for rule of law.
Do you raise these questions as the international
Many
organizations?
many
And what
times.
is the
And as a
reaction?
result of that, we had a resolution of Parliamentary Assembly of Council of Europe in 2006. We had a resolution even from European Parliament, Bundestag, but why they forgot about that? And why they forgot? Because they never implemented what they adopted. For example, a resolution of Council of Europe, creating working group in Council of Europe. Armenia said no, and nothing happened.
Isn't it better for the parliamentarians to raise the question not about the problems, but the mechanisms of the implementation of resolutions?
We have a concrete mechanism which is also in all these documents. First of all, a step to peace. Passing withdrawing of occupied forces. When a big territory, Armenia claims that they have not any, territorial claims to Azerbaijani occupied territory. Withdraw forces, it will create a chance to start serious negotiation for that. We discussing now Karabakh issue, mountain of Karabakh, but 7 regions around Karabakh and the occupation. Armenia call it buffer zone. But last time in European history, this terminology was used by Joachim Ribbentrop when they occupied part of Czechia, Poland, and said that Germany is creating buffer zone. We know what's behind this type of strategy. Azerbaijan lost 350,000 citizens during the Second World War. That's why for us it's a sensitive issue.
What will be your next political step in this direction?
I'm a partner of Europe. I'm a friend of Europe. And I definitely believe that we will continue our dialogue. We will continue to urge our European friends and colleagues, first of all, to think about the European values. Because this type of documents violating, first of all, European values and European principles.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Partnership and cooperation is the best tool between the nations, says Mr. Mollazadeh.
One thing that is very important that came out of this discussion, Mr. Mollazadeh said that, and I quote, "I am a friend of Europe." Azerbaijan is a friend of Europe, and Azerbaijan wants to be a friend of Europe. And I think this is something that Europe should keep in mind, hoping it will lead to a better tomorrow.
Goodbye.